Hello everybody, I'm Alfred and I'd like to talk to you about the movie Buckley's Chance. Let me just read the official description. After the loss of his father, a young boy is forced to move to the Australian outback to live with his estranged grandfather. During his adventures, he becomes lost and befriends a dingo that has been excluded from its own pack. You know, now based on the trailer, because I also saw the trailer, this guy lost his dad, and now, according to this synopsis, he's saying that he was forced to live with his estranged grandfather. That already puts the grandfather in the position of a villain, which is crazy. By saying estranged grandfather, the grandfather did not want anything to do with him. But let's look at the fact that the grandfather still accepted to be his guardian. The grandfather could have rejected. So why are you adding the estranged grandfather? What is the explanation for that? You see, and now he has to live in the Australian outback. And from the trailer, the boy, because the grandfather is trying to teach him certain principles, trying to raise him the way he knows how to be raised based on his own era, and just principles for discipline and all of that, because the boy seems to be considered problematic and all of that. But you see, the grandfather's approach, sorry, is being vilified. Is looked down upon. For example, taking the grandson hunting, and the grandson, the grandfather wanted to shoot a dingo. Now, understand, a dingo is a wild animal. They may look like dogs, but they are not dogs. And that is something that is very important, and it's a fact. But now it's like this boy is woke. He's obviously this generation woke culture, and it's like, oh, don't kill animals, blah 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 blah. And he actually ends up saving a dingo that was caught in a trap. Now, in real life, if you see a dingo in a trap and save its life, the dingo would still attack you. That is a fact. You see, it's just like if you see a poisonous snake in a trap and you go and save the snake, thinking that the snake will now be your friend, it will still bite you. You see, understand that wild animals are wild animals. If you see a crocodile that is caught in some sort of trap, and you say, oh, let me set it free to understand and be my friend, it is going to kill you. It is a wild animal. You see, so in this case, they made it, the dingo actually became, ended up being his companion when this kid ran away from his grandfather, and now he's now out there in the Australian outback, and then this dingo is basically, the dingo comes back, saves him when the snake is about to bite him, and all of that. So many unrealistic things. But the problem, there, they put the mother, now the mother is at odds with the grandfather and is blaming the grandfather for the son running away. And now this dingo that previously, would have been like, oh, we are supposed to kill dingoes, it's a wild animal, is now the boy's friend and companion and helps him find his way back to his pack, and the pack is probably back to family, So this is basically wokeness influencing a plot and pushing forward a foolish narrative. I've always said, you see, this friction between parents and children, it has become normalized. When every movie and cartoon or book shows friction and disagreement and misunderstanding, that, oh, the older generation cannot relate with the younger generation, or they cannot understand each other. That parents don't understand, parents can't just understand mentality, and the parents is like, no, why back in my day we didn't act like this, or kids didn't do this, so there's that constant friction. This is unfortunate, and in reality, you see, that is not the way it is in real life. But with this kind of thing being continually made, it does something to people's psyche, and they condition themselves, and their relationships begin to look this way, because they have bought into their ideology that as a young person, they have their own set of beliefs and values that are different from the old people's own. Old people have their own old school beliefs and values, and there's always these odds, you know, and it's like it has been normalized that, oh, you're supposed to have odds. Just like there are people who believe it is normal for you to date 1 million people before you finally get married. You know, they say, you have to go through all the bad ones to find the right one. No, it is a function of foolishness. It is because you are not wise that you can make so many wrong choices and then expect that with each wrong choice you are being perfected to make a better choice. No, with each wrong choice you are being put at odds to make an even worse choice. There's a reason why, you know, the people that get divorced once, you know, the percentage of people who get divorced, you know, the first time in Western society is around half. The percentage of people who get divorced twice, if they marry again, if that person that have divorced once marries again, the percentage of those people who get divorced goes to over 70%. And by the third time, the person who gets married a third time, you see, the odds of those who are on their third marriage getting divorced is higher than those who are on their first marriage getting divorced. So with each time they marry and get divorced, the odds that the next time they marry and they get divorced actually increases in Western society. You see, so it is not like the more you make wrong choices, you are perfecting yourself and you will now make the right choice. You see, it's actually the other way around, especially in this case. So it is very unfortunate. We need to change things like this. As long as the world keep making movies that have this kinds of things, because you have to understand that as a storyteller, you have a responsibility with the message that you're putting out there, what direction, what thoughts you're putting in people's minds, what ideology you're passing to people's minds, what your storyline is selling. This is selling nonsense. You know, in real life, this boy will die because let us assume that it was not even a dingo, it was a dog. Or for some reason, this dingo was acting like a dog, which is not possible. But let us assume that this dingo acted like a dog. A boy in the outback, you know, if you go into a dangerous situation like a forest or like the outback, you know, and it is you and wild animals, and all you have is a dog and a child, that dog is not going to keep that child alive. This is not a matter of Jungle Book. You know, of course, we all know how unrealistic Jungle Book is. Nobody needs to tell you that Jungle Book is super unrealistic. If you put a baby in the jungle, that baby is not going to be adopted by gorillas and monkeys and then make friends with lions and tigers, and they will protect the child and the child will grow. That child will be killed and eaten as a baby. The child will not live to see the next day. You see, you cannot put a baby in the jungle and expect a Jungle Book or a Tarzan to happen. It is not going to happen. You know, so those are things you have to keep in mind and realize. That being said, we need to do all we can to actually change the entertainment landscape so that the messages that are put out there are Christian messages, godly messages. You know, it's very important that this is done. If you would like to be a part of changing the entertainment landscape, reach out to us on alfred.vip. You know, we are looking forward to hearing from you. You know, if you haven't given your life to Christ, go to salvationprayer.alfred.vip. Thank you and God bless you.